of the Bar Harbor Chamber of Commerce 2024 Cadillac Award is Dave Woodside.
Dave Woodside was born on August 7th, 1951 in Farmington, Maine. B stands for Barry, his cousin Barry, who shares a birthday with him. David went to the local schools. I believe he went to the Ingalls School and the Mallet School, and then on to high school, which was then Farmington High School. Which later became Mount Blue. He graduated from high school in 1969, and he then went to Northeastern University in Boston, and then later transferred to the University of Maine at Orono, and graduated from Orono in 1973. Dave and I met in Bar Harbor in the summer of '73. We were working at the Lobster House in Trenton, and so we did that. We were there for most of the summer, and then we left that position, and we both left that position for a lot of crazy reasons, and then we ended up working for the Bar Harbor Fudge Factory. After that, we went back to school, Dave at Orono, finishing up in December. I had a full year left at the University of Maine at Farmington. When he graduated in '73, he moved to Georgia and ended up working in a management training program for Winn-Dixie Foods. And then we got married in June of '74, and we decided Georgia was not for us. We ended up running into the guy that ran the fudge factory, and he said, "Hey, we want to open one up in Boothbay Harbor." And so Dave and I said, "We'll do it." So we did. And so in less than a month, we pulled it together, and ended up opening the Greater Boothbay Fudge Factory, which still exists today. And we did that for a season, and then decided that we really wanted to move back closer to MDI. That was always our dream. And Dave ended up getting a position with the IGA, and it's an old grocery chain. And he ended up working as an assistant manager there. And while there, in our conversations and all of that, he decided, he always said, someday I'd really love to have my own little country store. And an opportunity came about for us to buy the business for the Otis General Store. And so we did that for a year. And then while we did that, Dave learned about a position opening up for the Acadia Corporation as a seasonal manager, managing the Thunderhole and Cadillac Mountain gift stores. And he did that while I ran the store. And there we are. He's been with the Acadia Corporation ever since.
I've known Dave Woodside for over 48 years, since he was the manager of the Cadillac Mountain gift shop for the Acadia Corporation. I had the responsibility of signing his rejection letter when he applied for being general manager, and I often think that gave him the opportunity to mature, get his act together, and get the experience that he needed so that the next time he applied, he was accepted. And that has been a wonderful opportunity for the Acadia Corporation to have him as general manager. He's done wonderful things, and we're very proud of him. I'm also very proud of him that he was director of the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust for over 20 years, and the last few years as chairman of the board. So he's had a remarkable career, and I'm taking full responsibility for it.
So during Dave's tenure at Acadia Corporation, probably the most outstanding event during that time was when they lost the Acadia National Park concessions contract. And he did it. The organization and Dave had to regroup. They had really had to kind of reinvent themselves, but with his amazing team, they were able to continue and become, the viable organization they are today.
I'm so happy that the Chamber of Commerce has decided to recognize my great friend and colleague, Dave Woodside, for his accomplishments over the last 5 decades. I worked with Dave for 30 years at the Acadia Corporation. Dave led a small year-round management team of about 10 people and several dogs. He treated the team as respected colleagues, using a collaborative management style that produced excellent business results and created a family atmosphere that kept our core team together for years. Dave has always had an enormous respect for the town of Bar Harbor and has been one of its best ambassadors for the 40 years that I have known him. As the concession operator in Acadia, Dave was grateful to be part of the park community, and he always put the interests of the park and park visitors among the company's top priorities. Dave can be very proud of the work he did in Acadia. Congratulations, Dave, on receiving the Chamber's top award. You certainly deserve it.
Who knew in nursery school, you walking around in a cowboy hat and holster on, you'd be winning the Cadillac Award some 70 years later. Thanks to Kathy and a bunch of dogs, you've done good. Congratulations, Dave.
Since 1995, when you hired me at the Acadia Corporation, it's been a pleasure to work with you, but it's also been an inspiration to be part of a community. You have shown me and others around you what it's like to balance life, family, career, and our community needs. And for myself and for the others, not only is it important that we all do that, but you encourage us to do it. And you show us a way that we can be even-minded and we can balance life so that we can make a community, the town of Bar Harbor and the island, the best it can be for all of us.
So David means a lot to the bank, the Acadia Corp, and the community, all in unique but fairly similar ways. And that I met David when I first applied for this job. He was on the search committee, and I got to know him that way from a bank perspective. And then, of course, he became chairman after I arrived. We did a lot of things together. I leaned on him a lot for his counsel, given his experience with the bank. But then also people forget that the Acadia Corp is a customer of the bank, so I got to see him through the lens of that of a customer, a very important customer, so that's been an interesting aspect as well. And then from a community, he's been here so long, and given his role at the bank and at the Acadia Corp, I leaned on him to help me understand what the fabric of the community is, where I should be placing time, where my attention was needed, and he still continues to play that role today.
Congratulations, Dave, on winning the Cadillac Award, and congratulations on your chairmanship of the Bar Harbor Bank, which has been very useful to the corporation and all the efforts that it goes through. The Friends of Acadia appreciate your help also in different issues, and the park has been very cognizant of the fact that you're very helpful to them in communications.
The other thing about David is, I'm sorry to say this at such a happy event, but once in a while he used rather underhanded tactics in his political life. One of them was when I was chairman of the town council, David was also serving, and he sat to my left, and every time I finished an agenda item, he would slide me a green M&M, which were my favorites, so I had the incentive to getting through the agenda as quickly as I could.
Community only happens when you have people who care enough to give of themselves to that cause. not for recognition and not for the short term, because communities are never done, but for the long term, for change and growth. Bar Harbor is so lucky to have had Dave Woodside make himself a part of this community for the long term.
And let me remind you of some of the things that he did over the long term. He was a long-term member of the Bar Harbor Town Council. He currently is still involved with the Comprehensive Planning Committee. He's a trustee of the YMCA. He's a Rotary member and past president. He recently retired from being on the board of the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust after 20 years. 6 of those years, he was the chairman of the board. And did anybody tell you that he likes dogs? He's an avid volunteer at the SPCA, and he's a great champion of adoption up there, and especially the ones that shed.
And he's a funny guy. He thinks he is most of the time. He'll be the first one to act out the 12 days of Christmas for a Rotary Club party. And it's amazing that a man of his stature can stand quietly on the church steps in costume for a silent nativity display. But he does it all for community. Thanks, David, for your commitment to our town and to our community.
Congratulations, Dave. You deserve it.
Though David has a wonderful sense of humor, he also took his work, particularly on the council, very seriously. He knew the community extremely well. He knew who would be an influencer of other people, and on the other hand, opinions that were going to create more discussion in the community. He was really good at involving people, making people feel included, and he was able to reach a sensible decision based on the overall consensus of the community.
I've known Dave since the 70s when he first came out of the boondocks down to Bar Harbor to start working for the Acadia Corporation. He always never seemed to get angry or upset. But back in the days, I operated tours through the park, and I would see him on Cadillac Mountain and around the park before he moved up into a higher echelon of Acadia Corporation. And we were on the design review board together before he went up to the town council. And I've taken several elbows from him playing basketball at the YMCA at lunch. And so we've always had a good relationship, and Dave is a great guy, and he's been wonderful for the town of Bar Harbor, and we certainly wish him well.
Hi, Dave. Thank you for your many, many years of walking dogs at the SPCA. It is a highlight of their days. I enjoyed walking with you. You are a true hero to the animals and the shelters, and a heart of gold. Thank you, Dave, and congratulations.
Congratulations.
David is a dog person, and if you don't like dogs, you do not want to be hanging out with Dave Woodside. And I do remember going to his house once and him demonstrating how clever his cat was, because the cat could ride a dog. Though it did involve David taking the cat, plopping it on the dog's back, and holding it there while the two animals tore around the house in complete terror.
Dave Woodside and Acadia Corporation were outstanding partners during my tenure as superintendent of Acadia National Park. I particularly appreciated Dave's leadership, his customer service focus, and his great management style, all of which made Acadia Corporation a great success. Thank you, Dave, for your many years of excellent service, and once again, congratulations.
Dave Woodside has been an incredible supporter and partner for Acadia National Park, and it's really because he recognizes that the fate of business in Bar Harbor and Acadia National Park are intertwined, and that a strong business community depends on a healthy and strong Acadia National Park.
Dave, congratulations on this richly deserved reward. You and Kathy, like so many other people, fell in love with this community the day you set foot in it, and you returned that affection in spades over the decades, both through your work in the town council, with the Acadia Corporation guiding it through many challenges and pitfalls, and also through your work with the bank. What I think is most impressive about all of that is just your quiet understatement and the way you've approached all of that, and you've been a steady hand at the tiller of so many important community institutions.
I'm here to congratulate Dave Woodside on the Cadillac Award. You ran a damn fine, still do run a damn fine concession. One of the best, if not the best in the United States. Thanks, Dave, for everything you've done for Acadia National Park and for the community of Mount Desert Island.
Congratulations, Dave. You know, when we first met, it was 40 years ago, and I was a young waiter at the Jordan Pond House, and you were the president of the Acadia Corp. I was intimidated at the time, but over the years, it's been terrific working with you. In my time at Friends of Acadia, you were an amazing resource. We had a lot of great conversations about issues affecting the park. Your commitment to this park and this island are remarkable.
Dave, I couldn't have asked for a better partner these last 20 years. Through Rotary, through work at Friends of Acadia, and just being my friend. Couldn't ask for a more creative, funny, and dedicated person to work with. Thank you for everything.
Hey, Uncle Dave, I just want to send a quick video of congratulations for receiving the Cadillac Award. Can't think of a more deserving person to get that. Has contributed so much to the community. I know you've taught me a lot about service and humility and humor and saying less is more sometimes. So thank you for all of that, and I know those values and things that you display on a daily basis came through and why you're selected for this award. Congratulations.
Uncle Dave is an amazing man, and I credit him with some of my favorite things in life, like knowing how to properly pick a Maine lobster and my adoration for dogs. He was absolutely the inspiration for me moving to this area. And congratulations, Uncle Dave, on winning the Cadillac Award.
So just a couple things I'd want to say about Dave Woodside. I want to mention particularly his wisdom and his integrity. There have been a lot of times when I've been able to approach Dave and run some things by him, and I'm grateful for his availability and also his well-considered words. And the other thing is his integrity. He has been so important to so many people in the community, so many institutions. He's rock solid, and I'm grateful that he's someone we can rely on and turn to. Congratulations, Dave.
Congratulations to my best friend and twin brother, Dave Woodside, for being recognized as this year's Chamber of Commerce Cadillac Award winner. I understand the dogs at the SPCA submitted his name for this award, and it's well deserved. Dave's many years at the helm of Acadia Corp and his myriad volunteer activities over the years certainly merit consideration and recognition in this manner. So congratulations, Dave. Have a good night, and keep an eye on that apple pie for dessert.
Hey, Dave, congratulations on receiving this award, and thanks for being the great leader in our community that you are. You're great pancakes, you're a great singer, and you're great on the basketball court.
Well, it's an honor to get to sit here and talk about David Woodside, who is a very deserving person of the Cadillac Award, and we're so glad to have him as our recipient this year. When you think of Bar Harbor and you think of retail and hospitality in Bar Harbor, David Woodside's name is right at the top of that list. And he's such a kind person, such a great member of our community, serving on committees and obviously running successful businesses. And my favorite story about David is every time he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, I'm David Woodside with Acadia Corp." And that means a lot to me because he knows everyone here is so busy, and there's so much humility in that he doesn't assume people know who he is. He's just so humble, and he just wants to be kind to everyone, and that means a lot. So in the busyness of Bar Harbor, for someone with such great stature to think so much of others means a lot. So David, you are so kind, you are such a good person, such a great member of our community, and you, sir, are so very deserving of the Cadillac Award.
Well, Dave, it's been a lot of fun putting this tribute together for you. Like your wife says, you've been hiding in the background for many, many, many years, but tonight we're going to honor you with this great award. I've always enjoyed working with you as a vendor and on the town council, and I even sustained a few basketball wounds from the good old days. But before I introduce you, I have a telegram from the ARC and the Hancock County SPCA. And I'll quote it. Quotation marks. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. Unquote. How can you beat that? Without further ado, the winner of the Bar Harbor Chamber of Commerce 2020 2024 Cadillac Award, Dave Woodside.